Hey, welcome back to Yoga with Sherry. I'm Sherry, and today we're going to be doing some really gentle wrist yoga. So it's almost like a therapy and a good stretch all rolled into one. So if you have any wrist pain, maybe some arthritis, my wrist has been super sore lately. This is going to be just for you. It's really gentle, and we're just going to work into some good stretches and maybe even some strengthening movements. Okay, so let's get right into it. So first things first is we're going to find a nice and comfy seat on our mat, whatever that looks like for you. You can even do this laying in bed or sitting on a couch, a chair, whatever. Okay, bring our hands in front of us, spread the fingertips nice and wide and interlace the palms. And we're just going to give our wrists a little bit of a roll out. Let them move. Let them warm up a little bit, taking it one way. Maybe you hear a couple cracks and pops, and trying to take it the other way, tricking our brain. Okay. Good, you can let that go. We're going to flick the water off of our fingers, give our hands a little bit of a shake. You can close down the eyes, maybe let the wrist just shake out, almost like you just come out of the shower and you don't have a towel. So really gently, if you do have pain in your wrist, just really gentle movements. Okay, we'll come right into it. So we're going to grab onto a blanket if you have one close by, maybe even a couple blocks or a pillow, and just place it in front of you. So that's going to be our just a little bit of height and a little bit of cushioning for our hands. Okay, so you can stay cross-legged if you want, if you have movement through your hips. If you don't, we're going to come to our knees if that's comfy for you. If this is super uncomfortable as well, you can bring a bolster underneath the sit bones, maybe even a block or two. All right, and then we're going to take the weight forwards onto our hands on the blanket. So fingertips face forwards. And we're just putting a little bit of pressure here, not too much. Not coming into any handstands today, even though I would like to. Good. And then we're going to take weight off the hands. We're going to flip the fingertips so they come towards the knees. And then try to place the palms down onto the blanket. They do not have to come all the way. So maybe it looks like this. Or maybe it looks like this. That's okay. Just meeting yourself exactly where you are. You obviously clicked on this video because you do have some wrist pain. Good. And then the sitting weight back onto the heels and coming back forwards. And just noticing how the wrists are feeling. We're going to take our gaze down. Roll out the wrists a little bit. And then we're going to identify where we do feel any pains. So for me, I can feel it right through the base of the hand, right in through the base of the thumb joint where it meets the wrist. And then a little bit right on the top of the hand where it meets the wrist. So I'm going to be really gentle with my right side. And so yours may be a little bit different. Maybe you had an injury or you fell and tried to catch yourself, and that's okay. Maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit less, or maybe you have no pain at all. It's really good to keep all of the joints healthy and moving. Okay. So now we're going to place the fingertips out towards the sides. And we can take a rock back and forth if that feels good. You can put as much pressure, as little pressure as you want. So if you're feeling really good right here, we can lift the sit bones up off of the heels a little bit and maybe place lots of weight forwards. whatever you're feeling. Good. And then we're going to sit back on the heels. If that's where you are, if you have props underneath you, that's totally fine. If you have a block under the sit bones and stuff like that, we're going to take the fingertips backwards. So if you do have really weak fingertips, maybe don't try this one. Maybe just put a flat hand. Or if you can't reach all the way backwards, just come to the side. Okay? And we'll just stay right there. But if you're going to come to fingertips, we're going to bring fingertips just behind the body here. And breathe. We're going to rock back and forth. You can close the eyes. You can go to your happy place. And maybe if you have space, coming down onto flat palms behind you. So this is a little bit of a heart opener. If it's too much on the wrist, don't do it. Good. Coming on forwards and coming on out. Good. And you can stay on your knees for this next one, or you can come to cross-legged if that's more comfy for you. Just whichever way you're going to be sitting, make sure you have that bend in the hips so you can lean forwards with us. Okay, so for this next one, we're going to come forwards, just like we did before on the blanket, but we're going to push the blanket just off in front of us. We're going to come high up onto the fingertips. Yeah, and then we're going to see if we can walk the fingertips forwards and put lots of weight onto them. And see how that feels. And then see if maybe you can put a flat hand and then another flat hand. So palms towards the mat. And noticing if there's any discomfort there. Maybe in the bad hand, the bad wrist that you have with the pain. Come up high to the fingertips once again. And switching to the other side. And if this is super, super easy for you, we're going to move on to one step further. If this is enough for you, go ahead and stay right where you are. So for the next step, we're going to come up onto hands and knees. So like this tabletop position. Okay, coming through tabletop and just being really, really aware of your sore wrist. Maybe you want to put weight onto the other side. So you can tuck or untuck the toes here. We're going to rock forwards. We're going to rock backwards. You're welcome to move through a cat-cow if you need to, if you want to. Our focus here is really in our wrists and our hands. Good, okay. So from here, just like we did before, we're going to come up high onto the fingertips. Maybe you want to come high onto one, and then maybe onto the other. And you can rock forwards, backwards. Good. Come back to flat hands. And from here, we're going to flip over the palm. One palm, doesn't matter which one you start with. See how that feels with a little bit of weight on the top of the hand. Maybe shift side to side. Grabbing onto a fist with the hand. Noticing any discomfort. Good, letting it go. Coming back to flat palm. So palm face down and coming onto the other side. Flipping the palm over. Maybe grabbing onto a fist. Rocking it out if you want to. Being really gentle with yourself. Okay, coming back to flat palm, untuck the toes and the hips back. Good, and then we'll end our practice with the same way we started. So we're gonna grab onto, open the fingertips, grab onto each hand, and give your hands, your wrists a little bit of a rock, little gentle circles. So you might feel a little bit of tenderness now. If you did have pain when we started, I know I do, but these little exercises are really good for healing the wrist rather than just leaving it immobile and putting like a brace or something on it. You gotta strengthen up those muscles once again. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today in this practice. I hope this helped your wrists. I hope it helped your hands in your healing journey. I hope you have a lovely day. Namaste.